Hey guys, Joe Baker, Trade Pilot Pro. Today's going to be on psychology, our favorite topic. Um, I want to just talk about behavioral trading, why we take impulse trades, cortisol, which is something that is a kind of a physiological change. Um, once we get into a trade and have some extended periods of stress, replacing destructive behaviors with new behaviors. Behavioral trading. Behavioral trading can be defined as what we do once we're in the trade. Notice what I want you to do is notice your reactions. Notice how sharp you are on looking at the charts. That's why everyone always looks at the charts after the fact, and it's so easy to see. Okay, when we're in the trade, and we immediately get a little bit of stress because we've taken the trade on and we're going to be stressed. So we get in these trades and we start to the adrenaline starts flowing, and actually in the kidney area of our body we actually release this thing called cortisol. When that's released, one, it's very unhealthy for our bodies. It puts us under a little bit of stress, and we do have relaxing hormones. But what happens is the more stress we continue to put ourselves under, the less these relaxing hormones work. So, whatever it is, whether you have to do breathing exercises, walk around during the day, take a break, go for a run, whatever it is, please, guys, this is something very, very important. I want you to just make note of your posture. The way your hands are, how tense you get when you get in these trades, and understand that a physiological change is taking place, and it's inhibiting us from doing the best we can. Okay, and just understanding it, knowing it's there. Okay, that will enable us to be bigger than the problem itself. Okay, there's only one way you can tackle something like that, and that's to overcome it and be bigger than it and stronger than it. And the only way you're going to know that is know it's there. We're all going to react in different ways. We're all going to have different emotions, but just make note of those emotions when you're in the trade, and then when you're out of the trade, and then look at the chart. When you're in the trade, look at the chart when you're out of the trade. It's absolutely unbelievable, guys. You won't even believe how a chart looks when you're out of it versus when you're in it. That's when you say, I should have stayed in it. Look at this. Or I should have got out. I knew I should have got out, and I didn't. I should have got out here, and I didn't. This is a part of how we all have to deal with our stress levels. Okay, so just I understand it's everyone. It's not just you guys. It's everyone. Everyone goes through this. So that's how Navy SEALs and fighter pilots and professional sports players. This is how they become great. This is how they become the best of the best. Is that they're able to control their emotions while they're doing whatever it is that they're great at. Impulse trades. Okay, an impulse trade is a trade that let's just say we took a loss on a trade and we're angry and we're pissed because we spent, I don't know, 15 grand on some seminar, and we've got 20 books under our belt, and we're never going to take a loss again. Now we're going to be professional traders, all make $1,000,000. It's not going to happen, guys. Taking losses is part of trading. I want you to understand, I've been in business for many, 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 many years. Okay, every time, I was in the construction field, and when I was going out bidding a job, I didn't, I assumed everything was, going to go okay and everything would be right. However, I wasn't right all the time. So what I would do is when we get in it, if I noticed we had a problem and we were running over, I would try to mitigate those damages best we can. Maybe add a few more guys, ask the guys to work a little bit, whatever it is to get out of that job so we can get to a better paying job, or one that pays money as fast as possible. Whether you're a software engineer, whatever it is you do, when you're doing a project or anything you're working on that's just not paying you the way it should, we all know in business, let's cut our losses, let's call it a day on this thing, and let's move on. Okay? I mean, let's just move on and get to the next thing. You got to look at trading the same way. You get in a bad trade, so what? Get out, move on. Because the only way you can get in a good trade is to get out of the bad one. And that's the same way in business, okay, that successful people do in business. They get out of that trade, they mitigate their damages, and they move on, okay? So An impulse trade is something that you take on impulse. You don't take it for any reason. You just take it because, well, I just took a loss. I got to get another trade. I got to make my money back. The first thing you want to do when you lose is get in there and get your money back. The first thing you want to do when you win is get in there and do it again. Okay, so you got to break that pattern. Okay, that's what I call destructive behaviors with new behaviors. We got to break the pattern. We got to break these triggers and do something totally different at the time that we're going to do that action. Okay, this is what happens to us after we get into a trade and take a loss. Okay, that's what we look like, guys. That's what we look like. We grab our heads. We say, why do we just do that? Why do we just do that? Why do we just do that? We do it because we're really not meant to trade. Okay, bottom line, our psychological makeup is not meant to trade. We we have adrenaline, we have too much emotion, and we're just not meant. But the idea is to understand it's there. They always say reduce your contract size to a point where you're comfortable with. There's all kinds of ways that we can go through this, but it's all on the individual. Okay, this is a healthy stress cycle. Okay, you got your stress producer. All right, obviously that's the market. Okay, because we all know we tend to. It's obviously not that relaxing trading, but it can be. It can be fun if you keep a good perspective on it. Then you have a stress response. That's what's most important. How are you going to deal with the stress when you're in the trade? How are you going to deal with everything as it works through? Then you go through your recovery period, okay? Because you've now done these actions or these these motions to calm yourself down so you can keep a good focus on this trade. And then you go back in again. Now that's a healthy cycle. Okay, and that's what it should look like. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Whatever it works for you, try to find it. Put little post-its on there. Talk about adrenaline. Talk about keeping calm, keeping cool when you're in these trades, and then getting out if they're running against you. This is typically how the day looks. Okay, you get your 9:30 to 11. Your stress level is okay. 11 to 1:30. Your stress level's a little bit higher, and you notice how your profit level drops. 1:30 to 3. Your stress level's creeping up there, and you're about break even. And we've all done this, guys. You've all done it. Made a grid trade in the morning. We're up. Why don't we just stay there and whatever? We're all the same. Then you go into 3 o'clock, and then you're looking for trades because you're just trying to get something for the end of the day because you sat there all day long, and you could have been doing something else. This took me many, many years to overcome. So I'm letting you know how I did it, and I just kind of want to end up here because again, we only have 10 minutes. But again, guys, we're fighting. Even in sports, you're equally matched. When you're a boxer, when you're a baseball game, when you're a football, whatever football team, you're all equally matched for everyone. And in the markets, we're not equally matched. We're fighting some of the largest houses. They always want us on the wrong side. They always have to fade us because they do anyway because it's a zero sum. It's like the World Series of Poker every single day. So I want to finish this up. It's almost on 10 minutes now, but I want to let you know that we have to be at our best. And the only way we can be at our best is to understand what makes us not our best. Okay, guys, I hope this helps. I'll do some more later on psychology. Maybe we'll pick just one topic and do 10 minutes just on that. But I hope this helps, guys. Take care and happy trading.